We kick things off with Logan Parks, hot of his very first season on the Bassmaster Elite Series, fresh off qualifying for the Bassmaster Classic, and also running one of the coolest events for college and high school anglers. And hey, he brings a couple of them along with him, but that is not all. The hits keep getting bigger. We are also joined by five-time Bassmaster Classic qualifier, Bassmaster Open winner, a man more slick than an ugly stick, Matt Robertson. Both of them, all of them actually, join me this week. Oh...
I'm Bob Cobb from the Bassmaster. Welcome to Mercer.
Welcome one, welcome all, friends, family, freeloaders, fishing freaks, and of course my humpers. Welcome into the Awkwardly Honest fishing podcast that goes by my last name, which is Mercer. This is the 183rd edition of the Mercer podcast, and I hope wherever you're watching or listening in the world, life is treating you well. I am so thankful you guys tune in every single week, and that's why I work so hard to try and make sure we have a very cool show each and every week. And guess what? Somehow we pulled it off again. We kicked things off with Logan Parks, Elite Series rookie. Well, not a rookie anymore. Guess he's going into his sophomore season, but he talks about his rookie season, talks about qualifying for the Classic, and he also talks about one of the coolest events in this sport, and it's an event that he runs. It's for high school anglers and college anglers. It really is. You want to talk about giving back. You want to talk about growing the sport. The event that he runs is truly one of the coolest things happening in the sport. He happens to bring a collegiate angler and a high school angler along with him. So it's a great conversation. But that's not all. Then we are joined by the man more slick than an ugly stick, as I like to call him. The one and only Matt Robertson joins us. And it's a very different conversation to start things off because he just went through something that could have been very, very bad, and he talks about it, and then we talk about all sorts of other stuff that we probably shouldn't have talked about. But trust me, you're going to enjoy this show. I can't say that. I hope you enjoy this show, and if you do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, review, all those things. We're getting a lot more reviews on the streaming platform, so I thank you guys for that. Keep it up. Oh yeah, we got other things I got to talk about. Before we jump into our guests, we have a couple of people I need to give a very special shout out to. First of all, Bobby Bakewell. Bobby Bakewell just won the Bassmaster Open. Congratulations, Bobby. We will see you at the Bassmaster Classic in 2025. And we have 9 new qualifiers for the Bassmaster Elite Series. Easton Fothergill not only won 2 Opens this year, but also won the Bassmaster Open points. So he is the EQ Angler of the Year. He's going to be a problem. I mean, think about it. He won the collegiate bracket a year ago, then backed it up by winning 2 Opens this year, and Angler of the Year, and he's coming to the Elite Series, so it's not going to get any easier. Right behind him, a name that many people are used to hearing, Cody Meyer now in the Elite Series, Tucker Smith, Paul Marks, Emil Wagner, Andrew Loberg, Dakota Ebert, Bo Browning. So weird when dudes that I used to watch sit in the front row make it. It's just, I mean, Bo was Stephen Browning's son. Now he's on the Bassmaster Elite Series. So congrats to him. And some of you might be happy, some of you a little disgruntled, but another Canadian, Evan Kung, joins the Elite Series. Those are 9 new pros. I'm sure we'll have them here on the show, but I just wanted to give them all a very special shout out because qualifying for the Elite Series is no freaking simple task. And competing on the Elite Series clearly is no simple task because when you add those 9 names to the mix, it just got even scarier. Whew. We should do this show, right? Let's just kick things off with Logan Parks. And, yeah, I now present to you Bassmaster Classic qualifier, Logan Parks. Logan Parks, we're finally doing this. I don't think a soul on earth understands how many texts back and forth me and you have had about actually doing a podcast of some form in the last year.
I'm glad we were finally able to make it happen. I was starting to think it might not.
No, I told you it would happen. You're on too many damn podcasts, dude. I mean, that's your problem. Like, I mean, I'll just be honest. I think the fine viewers of this show deserves something original, something. And when you're on a bunch of different podcasts, it's hard for me to book you like a week after that. You understand that, right?
Well, I mean, people want to talk to me. I want to talk to them,
And you
But I get
should.
it. I get
You
it.
you should. I mean, I'm not telling you shouldn't, but I'm just telling you from my perspective, it's I mean, that's one of the things we run into. I mean, in the podcast world, and everybody has the same guests to a certain extent, but I don't know. I try to be original. I'm a big fan of originality,
I
and
think I think it is that they want to talk to Rob, and I'm just with Rob a lot.
is Rob there? I mean, he seems to always appear.
No, he was here like a couple days ago, though.
I mean, you're right. I have listened to podcasts. I think I was listening to the Juice once, and you were on there, and Rob wasn't even on the podcast, but he was yelling things from the other room.
Yeah, he's always lurking.
Well, you were always lurking in this sport in the way that nobody was shocked to see you on the Elite Series. This was a definite goal that you put in your targets and worked towards and accomplished, but you're a year into your Elite Series career. How different or how similar was this experience for you compared to what you would have assumed this time last year before the season started?
It was definitely different than I was expecting. The guys were even better than I imagined, and so that was one thing that it's hard to wrap my mind around sometimes. No matter how difficult the fishing seemed, you get back to weigh in and everyone caught them. And Scott Martin was actually behind me in line at Lake Murray, I think, and he said, I made a comment about like, gosh, I can't believe how good these guys caught them today, because I had a really tough day too and barely squeaked in the cut. And he said, man, these guys catch what swims in these lakes every single day. And I was like, that's facts, because it's unbelievable the amount of talent and, the dedication these guys put forward. And you go and pre-practice a place, 2 months before, and you run into 10 guys there. I mean, these guys live and breathe it. So I think I kind of maybe thought that the opens were going to be similar in difficulty because of the number of boats, and having less of a field size might make things a little bit easier. But these guys are so good, even only in 3 days of practice, they still find everything that's good, and you have to share it with people, and you have to get really lucky to find a nice spot to yourself. So that was.
So the belief that a lot of people would throw out there, and I've even said it, I've asked anglers, like, I think when we did the podcast last year with all the qualifiers, you being one of them, I said, do you feel like there will be a little bit of a freedom because you're not competing against 225 boats? Was there any of that?
No. No. And it's like you get this pressure that you put on yourself, and it's unbelievable in the opens trying to qualify and knowing you have to have, I guess, 18 perfect days of fishing at least. And then if you make a top 10, have to have some more days, but give or take, like, you can't really screw up at all. And that also includes having good practices and putting together a good game plan. And then you finally make it, and it's like, whoo, I made it, and then all of a sudden the pressure's back on, and it's even heavier. It's like, well, I gotta. And this year, at least, I didn't have to worry about getting cut. But next year, this coming year, now the pressure's on to like stay in. Obviously the goal is make the Classic. That's the pressure for me that I was feeling this year. Is like, got to get in the Classic, got to make the Classic, and next year it's going to be the same thing. But if that doesn't happen, then it's like, well, I got to stay in the top 70 so I don't get cut. I mean, it's always pressure, and it's even more now that I'm on the elites on this like super high level, performing with the best guys in the world. It's even more than it was in the opens.
Yeah, and the top 70 seems like when you say that, you're like, I just got to be in the top 70 to re-qualify. But then you read the 9 names that are new Elite Series rookies that were just announced. Even just reading through them, for me, I'm like, which one of those guys doesn't catch them?
Yeah,
because there's 9 of them coming, and if you the top 70, there's a bunch of them that are going to be in there. It's shocking how it continues to get better. Is that all college fishing, do you think?
I think it definitely has a lot to do with it. College fishing, my college partner Tucker qualified. Super proud of him, and we travel the country fishing the college bass, and just all the different college tournaments, and get to fish a lot of these places and learn a lot. We go to Texas, we go to New York, we go to Michigan, we go to Florida, and Alabama, obviously. But I think too, it's just, man, it seems like a huge like movement with these young anglers just going hard, man. I think it has to do with them taking full advantage of technology, and it seems like with the social media, there's a lot of opportunities for these guys to actually do something besides go to work. They can go out and make money and do things like maybe a non-traditional way and actually make it a self-sufficient lifestyle to fish. So these guys aren't really working 9 to 5s, they're just fishing all the time. And whether that's mixing in guide trips, doing things like that, or just making money with sponsors and posting on social media, these guys are fishing more than ever. It seems like to me, the young guys are. Like I know Paul Marks, I mean, he fishes Lake Lanier like every freaking day. So does Emil. Emil has like 2 or 3 guide trips a day sometimes. So these guys are making bank and fishing every day, and I think that shows a lot in their performance. I was actually looking at the points the other night, and it ended up taking more to qualify this year than it did even last year, which was crazy. I think I averaged like a 40th place finish and finished in 8th place, and 9th place this year averaged like 37th. So it's just
wow.
Allen is just getting better and better, and these guys are going to be another 9 spots taken in the Classic next year. I'm calling it right now.
You called it a movement. Does that movement drive you? Like, do you feel that as a competitor? I mean, you're obviously part of it, but does it drive you to be more competitive?
Absolutely, man. I mean, just this year alone, like, I mean, I'm 26 and these guys are younger than me and they're kicking my teeth in, and it's frustrating. You don't want to get your butt beat by like Trey McKinney literally kicking your ass all year long. It's frustrating, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. And when I go pre-practice and he's already at the ramp before I am, and then I get back to the ramp at dark and he's still out there somewhere, I'm just like, God, I can't go any harder than this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying and doing all that I can, and so it's definitely frustrating. And I'm starting to experience that. I'm getting married in December, starting to experience that, kind of lifestyle change where I'm not a bachelor like these guys are, that, they can just go and travel, like, and nothing against them, but it's harder for me to put all the time in that I'm used to putting in. And I'm starting to transition into, making different decisions for me and my family and my fiance, Caitlin. So that's been, it's been interesting to take on. And, I'm just, they fuel my fire, man. They really do. It's fun.
Does it concern you? I mean, you're part of a sport where you've got a lot of veterans that are saying, "Hey, we need to eliminate pre-practice," because I don't think you can ever take the. I mean, hard work should always be rewarded in everything, whether you're opening a sandwich shop or you're trying to become an Elite Series pro. But does it concern you, because, like you said, you're getting married, your life's about to change. Like, how are you going to stay at this level for your entire career? I would assume that's the goal, right?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to decision making and making the right call for you and your family. And I kind of think that's kind of a joke, eliminating pre-practice. I mean, like, if you look at any sport and any professional athlete, there's literally a pattern. I mean, like, go watch The Last Dance. Michael Jordan worked harder than every other person in the field. So why would you take away the ability for guys to go travel across the country when they have the time to do that and pre-practice on places they've never been? Like, I've never been to Ray Roberts, and I heard that place is super scary to run around. Why shouldn't I be allowed to at least go see how I can run around the lake, you know? And so I think it's just a lot of people speaking, and it's hard not to, you know, talking about what you want to see with rule changes, talking about from your personal perspective of like, well, I think we should do this. And then you look at why that guy's saying that, and it's because that gives him an advantage or he's at a disadvantage for this. And it's hard. I do the same thing, you know, but I think it's good to have some people that maybe aren't in our shoes also helping make the calls and from a non-biased perspective.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you that, I mean, hard work should always be rewarded. I mean, you used Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant shot 1,000 free throws every single day of his life, and he had already won championships. I wonder if it's part of our sport evolving. And if you look at other sports, I've used this example a lot, but if you look at MMA, which is also a young sport, but at one time there was strikers and wrestlers, and they had different. And now you've got people who train MMA the whole way up. You guys are a group of anglers that have trained not just bass fishing. Like, there's a lot of people in the past that got into bass fishing, and at some point we're like, oh, tournaments are a thing. You guys, I mean, I would assume, knowing you for the part of your life that I've known you, you've trained to be a tournament angler, not just a bass angler.
Yeah, I mean that's always been the goal. You know, I didn't really start competitively fishing until we started our high school fishing team in 6th grade. So I really didn't tournament fish like some of these guys, you know, that have fished their whole lives. Like my parents didn't tournament fish, my grandparents didn't. We just fished ponds, but I loved fishing, you know, and then I kind of sucked at baseball, so I didn't make the baseball team and I was like, well, I can still compete and I can do it at something I like even more than baseball, which is fishing. Let's do that. And then kind of went head over heels into it and started watching Bassmaster and following up with, you know, like the sport and just fell in love with it. And so, you know, I think that these guys, like you said, that work hard should be rewarded. I mean, I think I pre-practiced 7 of the 9 lakes this past year, and just because someone else feels like they have other priorities and don't have as much time as I do to go do that doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to, you know? That's how I think about it.
If you could give yourself a little advice, if we could go back to 12 months ago before this season started, what advice would you give yourself? What was the biggest lesson you learned this year in the Elite Series?
I definitely got a little cocky. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought I was the shit after the first 2. After the first 2 tournaments, man.
This is easy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I literally was like, man, well, these opens were way more difficult than this. Like, I just went out here and I got almost a top 10 at Toledo Bend, and you know, I ended up 20th, and then at Fork, I had just awesome time. Caught my first 30-pound bag and finished 21st there. And I think after the first 2, I was like second or third in Rookie of the Year, and I was like 10th in points, and I was fired up, dude. And I got absolutely humbled in Florida. I went down there and just kind of expected things to go my way, and they really did not. I finished, I think, 72nd in Florida, and I actually finished second to last place in at St. John's. So those were 2 terrible tournaments, and I really wish I could have those back. I mean, I basically didn't fish a tournament because I got 2 points. I mean, it's about as bad as it gets. Like, I could have just skipped that tournament, and I don't think I would have changed anything in where I finished in AOI. So, you know, I really got humbled, and I learned, you know, that like these guys ain't messing around. Like, you're not that good. You need to learn and be better. And, you know, I dug myself out of the hole the rest of the season, luckily. And, you know, I ended it with, I guess, a check at every other tournament. But just, I would say, like, just, you know, don't take things for granted and don't go into things expecting them to just go your way. Like, just know that every tournament is different and you got to, like, work as hard as possible and just don't get, you know, big headed for sure. Don't get big headed.
Yeah. The don't let the highs take you as high as they are, and don't let the lows take you as low as they are, because I mean, That's the thing that's sick about the sport of tournament bass fishing. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's such a low percentage of success. Like, you look, the greatest to ever do it, Kevin Van Dam, won 25 Bassmaster events. Like, and he is by far the greatest to ever do it. Won 25 events in 29 years, 28 years competing. So that's not even one a year. And that is by far the greatest ever to do it. It is a sick sport that way.
Yeah, and Denny Brower once said, in the wise words of the GOAT, you got to forget the good tournaments like you forget the bad ones. And that's really true. I mean, you literally finish the tournament. It needs to be, learn from your mistakes. Like I type in my phone, I could sit back and analyze on day 3 when I'm not fishing what, I'm doing wrong, what I did wrong that tournament, learn from my mistakes. But, I'll put together a list of things that I felt like I did wrong and come into next year with a different mindset. But as soon as that tournament's over, you just kind of have to block it out of your mind. And
you do that after every tournament?
Yeah, I do.
Really? How long are the lists?
Depends. The Florida ones were real long. The Florida ones were like 2 pages, but sometimes things just go, as good as possible. Like at Lake Wheeler, I had, my first top 10 and had a great tournament. And, I only had a few things I thought I could have done a little differently timing wise, but I think it's important. And I haven't really done that, but I started doing that this year. And I think it's definitely helped because it's easy just to block a bad tournament out of your mind and not think about it. But you do need to think about what you did wrong and how you can improve upon it.
Yeah, and you do need to go back to that place. The next time you go to Florida, you need to, things might have changed by that point, and that, like Denny Brower says, you forget those bad ones, but you need to revisit it. I mean, I think that's really smart. I think a good business owner would do the same. Like, where was I wrong, and what was I weak at? Did somebody give you that idea, or did that just come from your head to start doing that?
I started doing it at the Harris chain this year because I did finish terribly. And then I'm like, St. John's, I'm like, well, I really need to take some notes here. but then I'm like, well, why not do that after a good finish too? And there's still things that you can be thinking about, like, oh, like I should have paid more attention to the current at Wheeler, and this is why I got lucky and smashed them at this point in time. But like, had I known, I could have gotten there 30 minutes sooner, and it could have been even better. Things like that, just to keep in mind. I think it's pretty valuable. It's like you said, it's like a business. You have to treat this, what we're doing, is a business. And if you made a business decision and lost customers or lost money, which what I did, lost money.
Yeah.
I want to figure out why and how to avoid that moving forward.
Wow, that's a very smart way to think of things. Would you read me one of those notes, or are they intellectual property you don't want to share?
I'll see if I can find one.
I'm just curious what kind of things.
I've got a lot of lists. Let's see. So I started doing this last year. Sorry. But here's some from last year that I learned. St. Lawrence, never play it safe. Go as close or as far out into the lake as possible. Last year at St. Lawrence on day 2, I had an early boat number, and I decided to fish by the ramp. And I had 25 pounds on day 1. I was in 4th, and I caught 4 fish for 10 pounds on day 2. And I thought I'd ruin my chances of making the elites. I mean, how do you not catch a limit at the St. Lawrence? So that was like one thing that I learned from last year. This one's funny. Lake of the Ozarks, literally fish docks. Don't be a dummy. I went to Lake of the Ozarks.
It's great advice. Throw a jig.
Yeah, do anything but what everyone does out there. And I'm like, wow. I did it in the tournament. Luckily, pulled it out of my, just got lucky, went to the right stretch of docks and caught them in the tournament. But I was thinking I was going to zero that tournament. And I'm like, wow, it was that easy. Like, so things like that.
That's a pretty cool approach. I appreciate a lot of things about you, dude, and that's just one of the many. Like, I mean, I kind of joked about how many texts we've had trying to set up a podcast over the year, but that's another thing about you. You have a relentless work ethic. Are you the same with sponsors and everything?
Yeah, dude, I try to be. It's super important, and I actually had a mentor of mine. His name's Todd Hollowell. He fished the
Okay.
FLW tour, and he's also a Major League Baseball player, and he's very smart business mind. And he put on this course for young anglers called the Bass Life Academy, and I was part of it my freshman year of college, and it really changed my perspective on how to approach bass fishing. You know, and it taught me that there's more to it than just catching fish. The whole business behind the scenes, thinking about things. Like one thing that's super, I think, underrated is your mental state and being
Yeah.
like super dialed in and confident, not cocky but confident. And like I've actually started to read a lot of books and listen to audiobooks on the road instead of listening to music, and like listening to things like one book I think that really changed my life was the David Goggins book, Can't Hurt Me. That, you know, him talking about how he can just like control his mind and control his thoughts. It's super interesting, and it's something that changed my perspective on a lot of things. But Todd taught me, you know, to like set goals, write them down on a whiteboard for every year, and try to work to accomplish those goals. Like make a to-do list and then rank them in order of what to do, and then that's how you accomplish things. And so I've been super analytical about it since then.
So, what were your goals going into 2024?
The number one goal was to win AOY, and Rookie of the Year would come with winning AOY. So then the second one was Rookie of the Year. And if those two kind of didn't get accomplished, then the fallback goal was to definitely make the Classic. And we at least accomplished that, which I'm super proud about. And the fourth goal was to break even, you know, at least break even on tournament winnings and the cost to fish, which I was able to do this year by like $1,000. so so that was pretty cool. I actually didn't lose any money fishing, which was pretty good change for sure. And then I have some social media goals, like getting the YouTube thing started, and I was hoping to hit 10,000 subs by the end of the year, which we're I think 4,000 right now, so we're a little under halfway there. But something that, you know, I'll have to change my strategy for next year on what we're doing and how to grow faster.
I'll say this about your YouTube series, dude, and I've told you this. I think it's really good. I think Jack's a very talented shooter, editor. I think he brings a perspective from outside the sport that is always welcome. I think there's a lot of online stuff now that literally just looked at what Polnick's doing and a few others and said, "Hey, I need that. Let's create that." And which that's great. But what attracts me to your series is that it is different. The way it's edited is different. The perspective is different. The way you all interact with each other is different, and it's revealing and refreshing, if you ask me. So when you say you'll set different social media goals, does that mean you'll change that approach, or is it just a matter of finding ways to grow?
I think it's just fine tuning things. You know, I think
Yeah.
there's different things we can do to hopefully keep the audience around longer and play with, you know, it'll still be the same content, maybe just in a different order. Um, but like you said, I really like what we're doing. I mean, I like watching them. I know like a lot of my friends do too, and it's cool. It's not super focused on the actual fishing. It still keeps that in there because that's what it's about, is fishing the Elite Series. But it's really cool to actually show. And dude, man, like I laugh so hard at the house. Like Rob and John, and then Cody is like the sleeper. Like he doesn't say a whole lot, but when he does, some of it is just so funny. And so, like, actually bringing guys along for that experience of like, I mean, if you think about it, we're on the road 9+ weeks of the year, they're technically, I mean, they almost become a family. You know, we
Yeah.
get to know each other deep and like know everything about each other, like what they do in the morning, what, you know, I got to wake up early because Rob's going to wake up at the most inconvenient time and get in the shower. And so I better brush my teeth before he gets up, kind of thing, things like that. And it's like, it's cool to show guys, you know, our lifestyle. And that's what I really try to do. And Jack has done a phenomenal job of it. So just kind of tweaking that a little bit to try and get longer retention, things like that.
Yeah, I also think with social media, it's important just to do what you like and what you love, and the audience will come. I mean, it's frustrating as crap because it takes forever for it to build. But I mean, the toughest 4,000 people you'll ever add is the first 4,000.
That's right.
And it sounds dumb, but when you get to 10,000, the next 10,000 will be totally easier. I mean, it's a snowball and it continues. So what I'm saying is, if you're listening to this freaking podcast, do me a favor and go and subscribe to, it's Logan Parks Fishing, right?
Logan Parks Fishing.
Yeah, subscribe to that, because there's a lot of, I think that's one of the cool things about fishing right now, that people want to focus on a bunch of negative stuff. And me and you, before we even started recording, we're talking about how frustrating it is that your biggest video of the year was one that you clickbaited and about the meeting, and all of a sudden you get a ton of traffic from that. But I think one of the cool things is, dude, I grew up in a time where we used to have to wait, you know, for the show to come out, for the magazine. Like, you hardly knew what happened in a tournament. And now, if anything, now I know too much about what happens in tournaments. Like, there's not just the tournament coverage, but the after coverage, the amount of like behind the scenes stuff that's being produced. It's pretty incredible. Like, I mean, if you're in high school now, if you're in grade school and you're looking up at this dream, you got a lot of stuff to consume.
Yeah. And that, I think that also goes into what we were talking about earlier, man, about like how these kids are so good. Like,
Hell yeah.
there's so much more. Like, it's not watching Bass, the TV show, and just a few highlights, and these guys are saying they're throwing something, but they're kind of throwing something else, and you can't even tell. Like, I can literally watch Jacob Wheeler or Dustin Connell or KVD or like whoever I want's GoPro on their console, pause it, look at exactly what he's tied on in his back cast. I can see exactly where he's putting that jig under the dock. Exactly. I mean, there's people showing screen recordings like Milliken of their live scopes. Like, you can watch exactly what they're doing with their baits, and there's more information out there than ever. And so these kids are taking advantage of it, and I need to do more of that. I mean, I got to consume more of that and learn, because you can literally watch how to win a tournament 101. Like, there's 100,000 of those videos on YouTube. So it's pretty cool to see the information too that comes out of it.
It's, I mean, I use this example all the time. I'm like, it's not even just the how to win a tournament. It's all the little nuggets that took forever before. Like, for example, 15 years ago when I started working for Bass, I didn't know what a shad spawn. I mean, I kind of knew what it was, but I hadn't seen it. I hadn't experienced. But now you can literally you and insert topic wherever you want to go. I'm just using shad spawn. It can be anything you want. But I could spend an hour online and I can give you a seminar on what a shad spawn is. Like, I had to spend several years seeing it and understanding. Now you could spend an hour and you could give a seminar on what it looks like, when it happens, what you should do when it happens, where you should look for it. I mean, literally just spend an hour. I mean, your encyclopedia is alive. I know the encyclopedia is probably not a word that you're used to, but it was the Google machine before Google.
Oh, I know what an encyclopedia is. We had a bunch of those in my grandparents' house.
What a dick. You see, that's why it took me so long to do this podcast with you.
But, like, it's literally free, too. Like, you can look up whatever you want and figure out how to do it. It's amazing.
And it's not only free, it's free, but you've got all these people competing and giving more. You know what I mean? Like, at one time, I think fishing shows gave just a little bit, and they all kind of just agreed. Now it's like, I mean, dude, how many topics? One of the most clickbaity topics you could do is this is a tip that the pros don't want you to know type
Yeah,
thing. They'll
there's
actually,
probably millions of those videos.
oh, tons and tons of them. But I mean, I agree with you. I think that's a big part of the learning curve. Like, how do you everything? I mean, look, guys used to come to the Great Lakes and scratch their head forever. Now you can literally watch what happened 5 years ago. Watch, I mean, name it, the FG knot. I mean,
Yeah.
how long would it have taken people to figure out the friggin' FG if it wasn't for YouTube? For freaking ever.
Yeah, thanks, Seth Fighter, for teaching me how on YouTube. I literally learned how last year.
See, it's no, it's wild. It is truly a crazy time in history, because I also think that people are absorbing, like, if you choose to do it like that, it's one thing, but I think that the world is also learning but not learning in a lot of situations. You know what I mean? Like, where you had to go physically out and learn it in the past, now you're just like, you don't even have to type it in your phone. You just ask your phone,
Yeah.
how big is this lake? And it gives you an answer. Very cool. Very cool. I agree with you on that front. That is a big part of what's happening now. It's college fishing. Technology is obviously a big player, but it's also just the ability to see exactly what to do. And it's wild because I go back to the first time Bass Live actually happened in 2015. And I remember watching Van Dam and Zona and them watch it. And I remember the first one I think I hosted was with Van Dam. And I remember he turned to me and goes, "You can see them do everything." And it was just like, all of a sudden it was an aha moment of, like, before it used to be like, I'm throwing a drop shot, but you don't know what the dude's doing with this drop shot. You don't know how
Yeah.
he's shaking it or whatever, but now you see it all. One of the coolest things that you do that you deserve to be commended for is your tournament that just went down. And explain to me why it's different and why you chose to do it.
Yeah, so appreciate you saying that. It's a lot of fun, man. We put together a unique format. I was brainstorming on it and worked on it with my title sponsor, Fishing Chaos. They actually are a software company. They actually developed the Fishing Chaos app. It has a lot of features. You can run tournaments through it, whether it's in person or online. You can have your guide service through there, so they can book trips with you. There's literally thousands of things you can do with the app. So I wanted to help, promote their brand because they've helped me so much. And I was brainstorming about putting together a tournament a couple of years ago. And like I said, I started my high school team in 6th grade and wouldn't have ever.
Hey, I got what? How are you in high school as 6th grade? Is Alabama schools different?
Well, I guess it was actually 8th grade, not 6th.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for correcting me there.
Well, no, you said it twice, and like the last time I was like, maybe he just said it wrong. But now that you said it again, I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, it was 8th grade. It was our junior high school was 8th and
Okay.
9th grade, and then high school was 10th through 12th. So we started the high school fishing team, or just the fishing team in general, at Auburn City Schools when I was in 8th grade, and
Okay.
that's when I fished my first tournament, not 6th grade.
All
And
right.
so that was probably, I don't know, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And from there, we really started to learn and grow as anglers. And then I went on to fish for Auburn University. And so college and high school fishing literally paved the way for me to get to where I'm at today. And I wouldn't be sitting in this living room doing this podcast. I mean, like, I really wouldn't have this house right now if it wasn't for bass fishing and for winning, tournaments and all that. So I wanted to provide that opportunity for other guys. And there's really not anything out there that I would consider super high stakes for high school and college guys. And I see a lot of these smaller high school tournaments. They do a great job, but these kids, like, they literally win a couple packs of lures. And I wanted to create an opportunity for them to fish for a lot of money and to actually, learn stuff. And in my experience growing up, I was blessed to have some awesome boat captains in high school. We had a great connection with the Auburn University team. So we had 2 or 3 different college anglers take us out. And I had that opportunity because, we knew some people, but there's so many high school guys that don't know anyone. And there's no better way to learn than getting in the boat with someone that can mentor you and teach you. And if they don't even know anyone that knows how to tournament fish, how are they going to have that opportunity? So I wanted to create a similar opportunity for those guys. So we put together this tournament where it's a format that brings in high school and college fishing together. And these college anglers get to pick their high school fishing partner. We have a draft, just like football or anything else. And they one by one pick their fishing partner, and we give them a sheet that gives them some information, like maybe their favorite techniques, where they're from, and how they did in practice. And they can actually go through and decide, oh, this kid, he's from my hometown. He probably knows how to fish. Like our team that won, Banks Shaw, everyone knows Banks. He's been killing it on the college scene and just winning everything on the Tennessee River. He told me that he had never met his high school partner, Kieran Stephenson, before, but he saw that he was from North Carolina. He saw his favorite techniques, and he kind of knew that they would mesh well together. So that's how he ended up picking his partner. So that was really cool. But these high school guys, man, they have the opportunity to get mentored by these college guys. And just the stories that came out of last year's event alone were amazing. Hearing these high school kids and their parents, like, just being so grateful for the opportunity. And it's really, really cool to do. And then for the college guys, like, their biggest thing is recruiting. They're wanting to find the best high school talent in the country. And I would say besides just a fishing resume, these coaches that are offering scholarships at these schools, and there's 20 or 30 schools that offer a lot of scholarships, they don't really have much to go off of. And then when they go off of the resume and tournament performance, it's hard to tell if it's that angler or his fishing partner, or does he have a really good boat captain? Like, you don't really know. So this actually gives them the ability to game plan and say, like, we're looking at these 10 kids, so try to draft those kids and go fishing with them, and we'll actually kind of see where they're at talent-wise and pick who we want to really give a scholarship to. So these high school kids are out there earning their way to get a scholarship and just trying to do everything they can to catch the eye of a college recruiter.
Yeah, and at the same time, they're also getting like a real life lesson of what it takes. I think at every level in fishing, you've got people who are like, I'm sure you went through this going into the elites. Am I good enough? I've qualified, but am I really good enough? Like, you hear that from everybody. That gives you think of a high school kid actually getting to compete with a collegiate angler, it gives a real good idea of where you need to set your targets. You might not be there right yet, but you've got time. And obviously that relationship, that mentorship allows them to build. I think it's a super cool concept, a super cool event. And I think when it'll really be cool for you, and I assume you're going to plan on continuing it for as long as possible, but I think when it'll really be cool is, you said the stories from last year, but 10 years from now, it'll be super cool to be like, yeah, so-and-so that just won the Classic, his first big event was this.
Yeah, I agree. It's amazing. I mean, we got some amazing kids. We grew the event last year from 84 teams to 150 teams this year. So we almost doubled the field size. We had 150 high school, 150 college, and they all paired up together. And last year we paid out $15,000 to first place, and I think our total payout was around $30,000. This year we paid out $25,000 to first place, paid out over $76,000 in scholarships and prizes.
Wow.
And the guys that won the tournament obviously got $25,000, but we actually had Nitro Boats step up as the title sponsor of the event this year, and I got to give away my boat, which is just unbelievable, man. Just to have the opportunity to change someone's life like that, it's really cool. So we actually got everyone together after the trophy presentation, drew some tickets, and one lucky kid won my fully rigged Nitro. I didn't take a single thing off of it from this season. I mean, it's got absurd electronics on it that wouldn't even be allowed next year. And then Abu Garcia, Berkeley, Plano, they literally filled the compartments full. And you can go look at, my Instagram.
I saw it. Yeah,
actually, it's in our YouTube video that's dropped for the tournament. But I mean, that thing there's no telling how much money that whole rig was worth. And one kid got the opportunity to win that. So just to be able to do that, it's really, really cool. I mean, these kids, a lot of them are just blown away by having that opportunity, and it's really cool to see.
So was the boat just random draw?
So we did we created some suspense with it. We decided to pick 2 tickets, um, and we picked two guys to come up. They got in the boat, and then based on their practice performance, we let them decide who did best in practice. Got to pick which live well he wanted to open, and one of them had some Bass Pro gift cards in it, and one of them had the boat keys. So we actually had them open them at the same time, and one kid was a little disappointed, but he was a good sport about it, and the other kid actually got to take home the boat. So it's really cool.
Wow. Is there any fear in you that, like, I mean, this is a great thing for the sport. We've talked about all sorts of great things that help anglers get better and help make your job harder. Is there a little part of you that deep down inside says, if I keep doing this, I'm just going to make my future worse?
I mean, 100%, man. 100%. I wish I had the opportunity when I was a high school angler to go fish with Bank Shaw. I mean, he's literally one of the best guys in the world right now, and he's not even on the Elite Series level. And just to provide those chances, man, these high school kids are going to get better and better and better and better and better. And so it's definitely going to make my job harder, but at the same time, it's really, really cool to actually give those kids the opportunity. I mean, we got kids that have never fished for spotted bass before in their life coming down here learning how to catch them on Lake Martin. Had a kid fly in from Hawaii to fish.
Wow.
High school angler. We had kids travel from 25 different states to come compete this year. We had, I think, exactly 30 colleges there representing, and it's really, really cool. And I mean, it's one thing too, like to do well in a tournament, and you get like the pride of holding the trophy, or at least saying, I got a top 10 or whatever. But it's another thing to actually provide a life-changing opportunity for other people. And if there's anything that I was born to do, it's that. I feel like just that is my purpose, and it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. I'm getting chills just telling you about it, man. Like, it's so freaking cool. And it was so refreshing to be able to do that after the season that we had on the Elite Series, just plagued by drama and negativity, and to actually have a tournament that every kid was so excited to be a part of. I mean, there wasn't a sad face in the building. Even the guy that missed out on the boat was just so grateful for the opportunity to be there. And that was so refreshing. And it gives me a lot of hope because, I mean, those guys are the future of our sport. They're the ones that are up next, and they're happy to be there. And so that really was a really refreshing time for me. Stressful, but refreshing.
Oh, I'm sure it's super. I mean, it comes down to the event. It's super stressful. Do you think a lot of this came from, like, how long had you been planning to do something like this? Like, were you in high school being like, one day I'm going to make the Elite Series and I'm going to make a difference?
Man, I would say I was thoroughly inspired by Johnny Morris and his vision and what they did with the U.S. Open, because there really never been anything like that ever. And me and Tucker took home $1 million, and we both won Toyota Tundras and Nitro Z21 XLs. Like, we literally won just an unbelievable, like, for me, it was an opportunity to, like, okay, I thought I could try to go pro and afford to try it for a year, to now, like, I bought this house and I can try to go fish for a couple years and, like, be financially stable. And hasn't been an opportunity like that since then. So I kind of wanted to create a similar opportunity for other people. Obviously, we haven't gotten to the point where we're doing that amount of money, but maybe one day, you never know. I'm hopeful that we can at least get to a place where maybe we could put a kid through college with a scholarship or something. I think that'd be really cool. But that's what I got inspired to do the tournament from. And then just thinking about who I wanted to do the tournament for and why I wanted to do it, and kind of came together with the idea of the high school and the college guys and bringing them together. And I mean, they've all said, like, we've never fished for this much money. We're paying the same entry fees that we would at some of these other tournaments, and this payout is unbelievable. We paid $1,000 all the way to 20th. and just giving out random prizes for people just participating. It's so cool.
Wow. Wow. And it all happens at Auburn, right?
Yeah, we've had it at Auburn 2 years in a row. Auburn Opelika Tourism has been great to support us to have this event. It was cool because Lake Martin's like 30 minutes from here, so it's not really on the lake. So it's kind of hard to convince the tourism people that it was worth it for them to have this event. But they believed in us and believed in what we're doing, and we may look into changing locations in the future. Maybe down the road, we might go to some other places, but my big thing is really rolling out the red carpet for these guys and providing an incredible experience unlike anything they've ever fished before. And with the facilities that we have access to at Auburn, having the draft inside Jordan-Hare Football Stadium, like literally in the background of Heisman and national championship trophies, even though those were a long time ago. And then being able to use that this year, we stepped up and got the athletic practice facility, the indoor practice facility, and had our dinner and our trophy presentation in there, and it was really incredible. We actually had 700-ish people at our dinner. So
wow.
It was unbelievable. Everyone brought their families and their girlfriends and their little sisters and little brothers, and it was really, really, really awesome. And like the venue, you can see in the YouTube video we posted about the tournament. It's an unbelievable venue, and I think that these high school and college kids are just like, we've never even had a tournament this nice before. So it's really cool. So we'd have to look at something comparable if we move locations, but I got some ideas of some places I'd like to go eventually.
Well, I mean, having it there guarantees Steve Kendi will show up.
Yeah, he is fired up always for Auburn, so it was good having him there. Rob G came down this year. Chris Lane actually came and spoke at our tournament, and Bobby Lane was there, but he messed his back up helping Abu set their baits out, picking up a box. So I actually never saw him, but Bobby Lane Jr. fished the tournament, so that was really, really cool. So we had some big names in and around the area, and so I'm hoping to grow it even more, get some more guys down next year to help out. I know a lot of people like Tyler Williams. He messaged me and was like, "How can I help? I want to be a part of this." So love to have him come down next year too, and whoever else wants to help, because see my parents, man, carrying these boxes around, they need to chill. They need a break. They need to sit back and relax and have someone else do all the heavy lifting, because they bust their ass just like I do for this thing, and I couldn't do it without them and without Caitlin, with all the volunteers we had.
It's a very cool event, and dude, I have zero doubt that you'll be successful in this industry for a long, long time, because regardless of, I mean, you had a great season on the Elite Series, obviously. Keep catching them like that. It makes things easier, but your work ethic and the foresight to see things like this, that goes a long way in this industry, because there's a lot of people who just want to fish. And I wish that it was, trust me, I wish the sport was a level where people are like, oh, you make the elites, you should get, no worries. It's like making Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
It's not. It's. I mean, you get as many people to watch fishing as we get to watch Major League Baseball, and then maybe it'll be like that. But it's the reality of our sport. I mean, you just wouldn't. But that's what you love. I mean, it's the sport that you love. It's the sport that I love. It's the sport that those 700 people that went to that dinner love.
Yeah, something that you can be like angry about and sit and talk about how it should be, or you can actually do something about it. And that's what we're doing with the Logan Parks Fishing Foundation. We're actually doing something about it, getting more views on the sport. I mean, we had 185,000 views on our leaderboard throughout the tournament.
Wow.
That's insane. Like, it's literally, the tournament's called the NSANE tournament, but that's insane, man. These kids caught 6,290 fish over 5 days, practice in the tournament, 2,793 in the tournament. I mean, and people are just watching that leaderboard refreshing, and it was really, really cool. And I think we are bringing new eyes on the sport with what we're doing. So that's what I'm trying to do, is do something about it, not just sit around and complain about it.
Amen. What does NSANE stand for? I've heard this before, but
so my dad actually came up with it. Got to give a shout out to the mastermind of marketing, John Parks, because we called it last year. It was called the High School College Chaos, And we wanted to change the name because that was kind of a little too similar to Fishing Chaos, and we wanted to have our own thing. So my dad was like, why don't we call it Insane? Because last year we were saying it's chaos. This year we'll say it's insane, but let's spell it NSANE, National Student Angler Networking Event. And I was like, Dad, that is an awesome idea. Let's call it that because that's what it is. I mean, and that's what these kids are doing at the end of the day. They're networking. You know, we have the draft, obviously, but before the draft, we have a locker room recruiting session in Jordan-Hare Football Stadium in the Auburn locker room for 2 hours. We had 30 tables set up with all the college teams, and all the high school participants would come in. They'd check in, and we'd check their fishing license, do all the registration stuff. Then they'd go straight to the locker room and have that opportunity to talk to these presidents of these fishing teams, these coaches, and get to know these guys. And, you know, just hearing some of these stories come out this year already of kids that are signing with schools they didn't even know or have on their radar, it's really, really cool. And that's what it is at the end of the day. It's a great networking event. And if you want to be successful in the sport, you got to have a good network. So that's what we're trying to provide for these guys.
Well, I think you're supplying a great event, but you're also supplying a blueprint of being a good steward of the sport. And to prove that, I mean, as many texts as we've spent talking about having you on the podcast, we're going to bring on the 2 champions, right?
Yeah. We're going to bring on Kieran Stephenson from North Carolina and Banks Shaw. He fishes for University of North Alabama. They're going to tell us about what it was like to take home that $25,000 and some humongous trophies and that big Happy Gilmore check.
Perfect. Proving that you're a good guy, Logan Parks. You bring in these 2 champions to give them a little bit of spotlight, I guess. Who do we got here?
Got Banks Shaw.
Kieran Stephenson.
I was talking to Logan, but you guys did a much better job of it. Logan, I mean, you're supposed to be the professional one here. How is the 15-year-old the most professional? Look at his friggin' backdrop. You're in high school. Did you just spend the $25,000 on a backdrop or what?
I wish. No. Gotta say that for college.
Tell me what this experience was like. What does this tournament mean to you guys?
I can go first if you want. I really think this tournament experience was like the start of everything, just because there was so many different aspects. You get to meet so many more different people in the industry, and you just get to meet a lot of people that like what you like to do. And that's one of the things that I really liked about this tournament is you could do so many different things, and you could really pick your college angler's brain apart when you're on the water and do different things that maybe you would never think of, and then you can take it back to your home body of water and use it.
Great stuff. What about you, Banks?
Oh, what was the question again? You cut out on me. I'm sorry.
Tell me about your experience in this tournament, how you feel it helped you.
It was a great experience. How it helped me, I guess, was just like a different format. Like I just kind of adapted to a different kind of fishing, I guess you could say, and just thinking differently about like how you catch fish and how to compete in a tournament. It's completely different than just going after 5 big fish.
Do you think this young angler has a future?
Oh, of course.
Or am I going to see both you guys in the Elite Series at some point?
Hopefully.
I'm definitely going to try to get there. There's no guarantee. I mean, everybody says that, but hopefully one day.
They're being humble. They're definitely coming.
Tell me about them. Tell me why do you think they're coming, Logan? Banks, you get back to fishing. We know what you're doing.
Because everyone knows who Banks Shaw is that fishes. I mean, he literally wins everything. He's the Tennessee River King, and it's undeniable. And so to see him come to Lake Martin and do what he does on the Tennessee River and apply that to 1 to 2 pound spotted bass in a completely different format and win in a deep, clear water reservoir is very impressive to me because it's not something that he probably fishes a lot. He's fishing Chickamauga, Tennessee River, Pickwick, Gunnersville, and that really was eye opening to me. I'm like, all right, this dude he's got it. And then as far as Kieran, he's doing everything right to learn. It's his second year fishing. He's actually rocking the shirt from last season of the Logan Parks tournament. So 2 years in a row, he's been fishing with some really good guys at the event, and he's soaking it all up like a sponge. And he's got that drive and the passion. I talked to him both for a while after the tournament about what their plans are for the future, and they're just both very impressive young men. I think they both have really bright futures in the sport.
Kieran, you said that you really got to dig deep into things with Banks. What is the one lesson that you learned with him that you'll take away from this experience, aside from winning the event together?
Really, I think is, especially in the tournament, is to really, if you really just deep down in your gut feel like you got to just keep sticking it out, you just got to keep doing it, and you can't get discouraged. And that's one of the things that I give props to Banks, because he definitely has that mentality where you kind of just like go out there and you just let happen what happens, and you just make the decisions that you can do and let everything else happen. And that's one of the things, like, put yourself in contention where you can, and then let everything else happen. And I think that's one of the things that I really took away from him, is to just get out there and fish.
And he's living up to that right now, because we're all got backdrops, and his backdrop's the best backdrop. Where are you fishing right now, Banks?
I'm actually on my home lake, Lake Chickamauga.
That lake sucks.
It does at times, that's for sure. Right now, it's been treating me pretty good.
Well, I want to congratulate you both on a great event. I mean, congratulate you, Logan, on a great event, but congratulate you both on winning something that I think is going to become one of those major stepping stones. It's weird. Like, there's the championship events in the college level that people talk about, but this seems to, only 2 years in, becoming one of those major events where 10 years from now, we'll look back and say, hey, that dude won one of these.
That'd be awesome. And I appreciate you saying that, Mercer, because that's the goal, is to make it one of those stepping stones that gives these guys the opportunity to pay off their school or pay their opens entry fees or pay for college, and for the high school guys, get an opportunity to get a scholarship to go fish in college and just create opportunities for their future. So I do appreciate you saying that. I think that, that's the goal for me, to turn the event into one of those stepping stones for sure.
What's definitely on its way. Do you guys agree with that that's what this event's becoming?
Yes, sir.
100%.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you get back to fishing, Banks. And Kieran, you're way too freaking professional, just so you know. Like, nobody, just so you know, Logan, you best make your money quick, because this dude's going to be on the Elite Series in like 5 years. And with as professional as he is at 15 years old, and never mind the messing that Banks is going to do. I mean, not great with cell signal, I'll give you that, but obviously a very, very, very accomplished angler that I've been hearing about for a long time, and I can't wait to see both you guys and how your career continues to grow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm going to get back to fishing, like you said. Sorry about the technical problems we've had.
Who needs to go fishing? I'm just jealous. Thank you very much, all you guys. A great event, and I can't wait to watch the future of this great event and the future of these great anglers continue on. And I can't say great any more times. So this has been great.
Thanks, Mercer.
See ya.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is a great program that Logan Parks is running, and I commend him for doing it. I mean, it is truly amazing, as young as he is, to have the forethought and the business acumen. I don't even know if I said that right, showing how good I am at business. But kudos, and a great event. And do me a favor, please. I'll put a link down in the description. go and follow Logan Parks' YouTube channel. He's making a big investment in it. They're doing some really cool stuff. Trust me, give him a subscription. It is well worth your time. That end segment with both of his champions, obviously, Banks Shaw and Kieran Stephenson. I told you this is the Awkwardly Honest podcast, and it gets awkward at times, especially when people like Banks do not have very good Wi-Fi, but he's fishing, so I can't blame him. I'll tell you something about Kieran Stephenson, though. One of the most shocking moments ever. So we finished recording that 6-minute awkward little conversation between us all, and Kieran says, "Hey, I got to say one thing, but we're done recording." And dude, he goes into 20 minutes telling me how excited he is for a particular event coming up on the Bassmaster Elite Series and how crazy he thinks it's going to be. And I'm like, what? Where was this kid? I mean, he was great. I mean, for a 15-year-old, he was great. But I'm telling you, I went from thinking he might take Logan Parks' job to he might take my job. I'm going to have him on Bass Live when we do that North Carolina event because if I can, I mean, because the kid is... I mean, I'm still kind of shocked about it, but two great champions. You'll see a lot from them in the future, and I hope you enjoyed that segment. But now it's time for what he would probably want me to refer to as the main event. The one and only Matt Robertson. It is always a good conversation. I mean, he's one of the dudes that anytime I talk to him, I get off the phone smiling, laughing. I mean, it's always just a good conversation. But this week he talks about some stuff that is very, very scary. We should all listen to. And then we get into stuff that probably is scary because we might get in trouble for it. But without further ado, a man more slick than an ugly stick. The one and only Matthew Robertson. Boy, I'm happy you're safe.
I'm happy. Oh, shit.
Already?
Sorry,
Already?
Dave. Sorry, right out. All right, bleep, bleep. Yeah, I'm happy I'm safe too. Sorry.
That is the most perfect on-brand beginning to a Matt Robertson podcast if I've ever heard one.
I mean, the first 2 words.
Wow. You didn't even make it out of the gate. This thing is cursed.
I was going to plan on doing so much better than that.
I don't think people want you to, though. Don't you think that swear words are less offensive nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's a norm. It's a norm.
People swear. It turns out.
It just happens.
But regardless, I'm happy you're alive, no matter what adjective you choose to use.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm very glad to be alive. But hey, at least people can enjoy seeing me try. It lasted all of, 0.3 seconds.
What happened this past weekend? Because apart from teaching people to swear, I mean, I think it's a very valuable lesson, and it's a lesson that all of us learn over and over again.
No, I'm with you. So you just want me to tell you the whole story right out from start to finish?
What, should we should we build towards it then? Well, I mean, whatever you want, dude.
Well, I will tell you, all jokes aside, I am kind of happy to be here because there was a moment whenever I thought, damn, I'm going to drown in this cold water and this is the last place I want to die. Like, it was the closest I've been out. I always thought it was going to happen, 2 years ago on Lake Ontario, and or last year. You saw me after the weigh-in, but my boat was still running then. I was literally in a boat that I was convinced was sinking, and yeah, wasn't gonna make it. I thought.
So this happened in Maine.
Yeah,
right?
in Maine. This past Saturday. I go up there every year with one of my best friends, and I go up there, and there's this small club. There may be 7 to 15 boats in the tournament, and go up there and fish. I'll fish a couple other tournaments with him up there throughout the year. But yeah, just a little fun thing. I've gotten to know all those guys, and yeah, Saturday morning I was drinking at 9:00. I mean, 9 a.m. I started drinking. I mean, it was a rough morning.
Which obviously was after the accident. So tell me,
Yeah.
morning starts. How does it bring me through it for
Yeah.
people who haven't seen the video?
So we go. We're having a tournament, and the lakes ain't very big up there. Like, this is kind of a smaller lake, and the wind was supposed to blow like 10 to 15 mile an hour, right? So we get there, four or five boats are in the water, and I put my buddy Dennis in, back him in. There's 6-inch chop. There's a little wind, but like not much, just a chop. And it's real shallow. It's like where the ramp is. Like, Maine has the crappiest ramps you've ever seen. They're all super shallow. You got to idle with your motor all the way out 100 yards because it's a foot and a half deep. And so we put the boat in. I'm got to drive up this little curvy road, couple 100 yards, and park. Where there's this boy with an aluminum boat. His name's Jake. I asked him. I was like, "You want me to put you in?" Because he was by himself. He's like, "Yeah, well, right in the snap of a finger, I'm telling you, we went from a 10 mile an hour wind to 40 to 50 mile an hour, like, not gut, like, it's sustained, like, it's blowing. And then a tree, right, we're standing there, like, what the heck's going on? And a tree falls in front of his truck. I'm like, geez, I can't hardly walk with my eyes open because the dust and stuff getting in my eyes. And he's like, "Let's go up here and see what they're gonna do." So we walk around the corner, turn and see the water, and there's 5 boats out there. Two of them about hit. My buddy gets his turned around, headed out, and I seen his boat whenever he started heading out. He was the first one to kind of get turned around and get out. I seen his boat, like, the tail end hit the bottom, like you could see it visibly, you know, hit the bottom on the way out because it's so shallow and the waves are you went from a 6-inch chop to 4-footers. Like, I know this don't sound possible. 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 45 seconds. Like, it was an unreal wind. And then another boat got turned around and going out. And then this guy and this ranger, I don't know how much they'd been out on big water, but I don't know if they kind of panicked or whatnot. But like, their boat's hitting the bottom, like you can physically see it, like not just the motor, but like the bottom of the boat. Because like I said, it's only a foot and a half deep, and I don't know if his motor shut off or what happened, but his boat there's a boat that's beached, and it's getting washed up on shore. This one, the nose of the Ranger, a wave lifts it up, and it comes down on the back of the other boat, and where your trailer hook goes in, busted right through the top of dude's hull. And he gets back in the driver's seat, backs it out, and he's kind of going sideways towards the ramp, and I'm just like, he's getting all blowed in, like it's fixing to be like. So I just run out in the water. I probably run 40, 50 foot out in the water and tell him to scoot over, and I literally just jump in the side of the boat.
Like, you ran. When you say you
no,
ran, you physically ran.
Like, I physically ran out there knee deep in the water and got to the edge of the boat. It's rocking like this. And I literally just jump into the boat. Like, I don't know what I was saying. I shouldn't have done it. Retarded. I should have just watched the boat get beached, right? But I'm trying to, no offense. I like all, like, the boat was going to the bank. It was getting beached. It was going to, be filled up with water. So I jump in, I sit down, and it's already damn full of water. Like, I sit down, water's up to the seats in the boat, up to the top of the seats. Like, it's middle, like where my thigh is right here, it's right here sitting down in the boat. It's full. So I get in there and get in gear, and I floor it. Whoa, 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 whoa. And like, I'm hitting the bottom, I feel it digging the sand. I would have liked to, if there, like, I know there's no video, but I'd have liked to see how big of a sand rooster tail I was throwing up, right? Because we was letting her eat. And get her turned around. We're making some headway, and we get out there, And I just happened, I was just trying to stay into the waves, and I looked back, and so the back part of the boat, like where your back compartment like where your batteries are, the top of that fiberglass is probably 6 inches under the water. I'm like, God dang, like, I'm sitting here thinking, can we even get all the water out of the boat, right?
Yeah.
Because that's underwater. And so we're going. I'm like, I asked him, I was like, you got another life jacket? He's like, the other one's in the truck. I'm like, oh shit. Like, because he's gonna be fishing by himself. So I jumped in the boat. So, he didn't have another life jacket. And whenever I looked back, there's only about 12 inches, 10 or 12 inches of the motor cowling sticking out of the water. And I thought it was high enough out of the water to be fine. Well, motor died. I guess it
Yeah.
sucked up water in the intake is the only thing I can guess. Motor died. I go up there, drop the trolling motor, and hit it, and it's going. Well, where he hit the other boat, it busted one of the ears off, so the trolling motor ain't working. Yeah, I'm like, and I see my buddy Dennis and him going out there, and I like, dude, I hate to sound like a big sissy, but like, dude, I screamed, like I can't even like describe the type of scream it was, because I for real. Water's coming over the side of the boat. The boat's full of water. I'm thinking I'm dying. I ain't got no way to control the boat to even try. I'm like, but I did have I had an FXR rain suit on that'll float you without a life jacket. Like with just the rain suit, it'll float you. But listen, I ain't actually tried it out yet. And okay, so and there's 4 and 5 footers. Like I don't know. Like I'm thinking, oh yeah, oh it's done. And I asked dude, I was like, do you have a spare prop? I said, you got a spare prop and a wrench? He's like, yeah. And so he gets it real quick, brings it up there to me. Oh, sets it on the floor behind me. I'm like, God dang, this has got to be fast. Pull the trolling motor up, grab the wrench and the prop, pull the prop off, and I smack it real hard a couple times, get the prop off. I dropped the little washer, but whatever. I put the prop on, didn't lose the pin. I didn't even think about the pin, but I didn't lose the pin. Got it on there, put the nut on, and dropped the trolling motor in the water. I'm telling you, in under 30 seconds, and turned it around and held the boat into the wind, into the nose into the wind, still taking some over the front, but he was bailing water out while the bilge pumps pumped out, and 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 then there were still the one boat was beached, getting waves pushed up on it, the one that boat had hit, and then there's another Ranger here just full of water, like sitting on the bottom full of water. The back starboard side, back driver's side is like that back corner's under the water. So we're out there probably 20. I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly how long it was. It took them a pretty good while because them guys were over there trying to bail those boats out. But, and it was probably 30 minutes. They got a trailer backed in, and the wind kind of died down by then. It was probably 3 footers rolling in then. And so I put the boat on the trailer and 3 footers with the trolling motor, and they pulled it up. And I went over to the Ranger or to the Skeeter, and they were bailing water out, making some headway on it. And I felt the ass end of the Skeeter kind of bounce. I said, boys, I'll be honest with you. I said, if y'all can push this thing off, I was like, I'll drive it. I'll get it on the trailer if you can get it off here. And dude said I could drive his boat. So, and there's this one great big boy there. Boy, I was going to put in by himself. His name's Jake. He's some type of big wrestling. I mean, he's a man of a man. He got a head bigger around than a basketball and hands the size of a frying pan. And I'm happy he was there. I mean, legs like 2 oak trees. and great big boy. And I'll tell you what, I think he might be bigger than Caleb Summerall. Like he'd give Caleb a run. And buddy, we got that thing backed out. And I don't know if he wasn't there, if we could have got it out, but got it out, put it on the trailer, and then we go over to the Ranger, and they're working on trying to bail it out, but like ain't doing no good because the water from the lake's over that back end. It's going the lake's level, going over the back right corner, and to the it's over the throttle, and the boat's filled up in the floorboard, right? And I'm like, you can't bail it out. And I told that Jake dude, I said, we need a log or something. Like, we all need to rock this side up because the waves are like splashing over the back, filling the boats in the lake, right? So I told that Jake boy, so we need a log or something to raise this side up so we can stick it under it so we have a chance of getting the water out. And there's a dead one over there on the bank. And you're going to think it's about a 15-foot tree, probably 6 inches in diameter. It's just the old one piece, no limbs off of it. Been there a while, it looked like. He goes over there. He starts kind of, trying to jog in that water, and he bit the dust, goes head first, face all the way under the water. And, like a 1.5 foot, 2 foot. I'm like, God almighty, dude, like, slow down, it's fine. He goes over, picks his whole tree up, and starts walking over there and bites the dust again on the way back. Anyways, he gets over there and we all get on that one side of the boat and we roll it up and he jams the tree up under there. And of course, it's rocking in the waves and whatnot. And the bilge pumps are running but the waves are still splashing over the back. It's still filling the boat up, right?
Yeah.
I'm in a rain suit. I'm still in that FXR rain suit. Dude is in shorts and a t-shirt. Okay? Like he's in shorts and a t-shirt. I'm laying on one side of the boat like sideways, like a model, like this. All right? I'm like this. And we're using our bodies. It's like I got my hips and all I've gained some weight, and I think it's for a reason, so I can block this water. It's like a seal against the fiberglass on my fat here. And so the way we lay down, and instead of the waves washing over in the boat, they're like breaking on us, and not going in the boat. And then there's 3 guys bailing. I know you like that pose, Dave.
Who doesn't? Who
You
doesn't?
like seeing, you like seeing them hips. But they got the boat down to the floorboard, bailed out, and the pumps are pumping. And they pushed it out, and then I loaded that one on the trailer for dude. And the other guys come up there, got their boats loaded up, the 2 other boats that went out. And yeah, dude, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, it was, and dude, I posted a video about it and everything. And dude, like, there was no way to know none of that was gonna happen. It's supposed to be 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, not no 40, 50 mile an hour gusts. Like, it was unreal. Unreal.
It happens quick. So quick. Like, you know what I mean? And I think you said it in your video. That's why they call them accidents. And it's true.
Yeah.
Like, you're never prepared. It happens. And dude, I will say one thing. One of the coolest things about social media is that when you post something like that, people learn and people listen.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the grossest parts is, boy, I read through your comments and you would think you've never driven a boat a day in your life because there's a bunch of dudes who could have stopped the wind with their particular boat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You need a bay boat. Like, I've read some of the comments, and like, I ain't gonna lie to you, Dave. I don't hold back on some of them. I'm like, if they want to act like a ding dong, like, I'll give them a ding dong return answer. Like, oh, you should have had a bay boat. Oh, that's what you get for putting in 4-footers. It's like, did y'all not listen to nothing?
People don't listen.
Yeah.
So what have you learned? Like, is there anything you can learn from this, or is it just always be aware?
Always be aware. That's all, dude. Like if you can't, like you can think you're prepared for something like that. And I will say, if guys haven't been in big water, it's like up there, that's a lot of small lakes, and a
Yeah.
lot of my sailors, a lot of fair weather fishermen, like, but maybe dabble in some big water. I'm not telling you go out in something dangerous, but go out in some 3 and 4 footers that way in case you get stuck out there in them, you know a little of what to do, you know?
I think that's wise for anybody that owns that's gonna fish in tournaments and stuff. Because,
Yeah.
dude, I mean, big water generally doesn't. It's not the big water that gets you most of the time. It's that you're rushing, that you're dealing with stuff
Yeah.
you've never dealt with. Like, I mean, that situation is an oddball. Like, I mean, I don't care what boat you have. When waves are giant and they're coming over the back, you can't fix that.
No.
But it is a good practice for if you, and especially with as many young people as are getting into this sport. I mean, it's one thing to learn to drive a boat 70 miles an hour, but it's a whole other lesson to learn to drive a boat less than 20 miles an hour in
In big
crazy,
waves.
crazy waves.
Yep.
So I do think you should go out in that, not in a
Yeah.
tournament situation. Take all your gear out of the boat and everything, so you don't have to worry about getting everything wet, and just go out and experience what it's like. Go out with somebody who's done it.
Yeah.
Because not always Matt Robertson is going to be in there to run out in the water and be like, "Get out of my way! I'm a professional."
Dude, like, it was a group effort, but I will say, dude, like, I don't know if it was stupid or not. Like, I was trying to save dude's boat and I didn't realize. I still don't think he realizes. Maybe he did, but I don't know if he realizes how bad it was out there. Like, well, dude, I was 1000% thought that boat was going down. Like
Wow,
1000, like it was insane.
scary.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but the good news is you're okay.
yeah. But I gotta tell you something, dude. Like, them fish were gonna bite so good. Like, dude, I've been out there. I went out there a couple days before that, and I found some big schools. Like, I mean, I'm talking about 50 fish schools, and it's like, dude, they were biting so good. It was like we were gonna wear them out. It was gonna be an epic day, and it was just like, well, that sucks. You know?
No, it does. So you go to Maine every year?
Every year I go up there every fall to my other than Wendell, I got Wendell and then my buddy Dennis up there, my best friend. I go up there and spend usually 5 days to a week up there, and yeah, dude, it's my favorite fishing up there. Like that's why I go up there. That's my getaway fishing vacation, and I've gotten to know a lot of the guys up there, dude. I've got some good friends up there, and I go up there, hang out with everybody. One thing I like about the tournaments up there versus like here and everything is after the tournament, everybody kind of hangs out, and chills, talks, bullshits. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Does Tyler ever fish any of those tournaments there? Because I know he fishes a different part of
Dude,
Maine.
like I've been up there, and like I thought Tyler was going to be there on Sunday. We fished a lake called Great Pond Sunday tournament there, and like literally it's in his backyard. His parents' house is on the lake, and he wasn't there. I've never fished a tournament against Tyler up there.
Wow, you think he's ducking you?
Yeah, I told Dennis, I was like, yeah, I think Tyler's scared to come out here and me beat him on his home lake.
Probably so. Probably so. No, there is something to be said for tournaments like that, though, because that's how everyone got into tournaments. Like
Yeah,
that social. I mean, I don't think I'm any different than anybody else. That was one of the. I mean, you love the fishing, you love the competition, but
yeah,
it's the camaraderie and everything, like the hanging out afterwards, the
yeah.
shit talking each other, and I mean that's a big part of it.
Oh yeah, dude, we have a blast up there. Have a blast.
I bet. I bet. Well, I'm glad you made it out of that situation safely, but you got stories to tell, I guess. But the fishing was good before that? Like all
Yeah,
week you were hammering them?
yeah, dude. Like went out there one day. It didn't like I said, not very big lake. Hammered them, like crushed them on a glide bait. I got me new little secret weapon I figured out this past year. And I'm gonna put a video out about it. It's a Savage Gear bait, but it's something ain't nobody thought about. And it's bad to the bone.
I saw you at ICAST. I saw you go into that office with the Savage Gear guys.
Yeah.
I wondered what
Dude.
you were up to.
Oh yeah. Dude, I mean they got some it's overlooked money. Like unreal.
I think a lot of their baits are like that for whatever reason. Like, weirdly enough, they fall in a weird. There's just a lot of the Savage stuff that really works great that
Yeah.
is overlooked by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not in Europe, it doesn't seem, but definitely in North America, it seems.
Yeah, in North America, big time. Like I think it's like they made a lot of very realistic baits, and I don't know if people think it's gimmicky or not. But like, dude, there's 7-inch glide bait. Like that's what I was going up there to. Like that's what I was gonna go glide baiting.
Yeah.
That Saturday, last Saturday, and like I was gonna catch 100 on a glide bait. I'd hope, I was gonna catch at least 50, and yeah, dude, it was going to be a blast. And then I went to that Great Pond Lake. It's got a bunch of smallmouth in it, not that many largemouth, but got big largemouth. And yeah, just went and cracked on a bunch of nice smallmouth, not no great big ones, 4.5s. And yeah, dude, that fishing up there is the best in the world, I think.
I've never been, but I hear it's freaking out of this world. That another bait by Savage that you ever throw that 4D craw? It looks super realistic, and when I first saw it, I was like, "It's too realistic. It'll have no." You know what I mean? A lot of times when a bait's super realistic, they spend all the time making the bait realistic and not enough time in the action. But that thing has like a crazy quiver. That they got some good stuff. Good
Dude,
stuff.
Yeah, Savage Gear's legit. Like it really is. And they got some new glide baits coming out this fall, this winter, fall/winter. But they've done some touch ups on some of the other ones, like the 9-inch Shine Glide, the big one. I thought it had a little too much body roll, but they made some adjustments to it and dude, it's a banger now. Like it is a banger.
Speaking of bangers, we need 2025 to be a banger season for you.
It's gonna be.
I didn't like this year with you. I mean, I liked hanging out with you, but I like seeing you on Sundays more.
Oh yeah.
What happened this year?
We're not gonna act like an idiot this year. So 3 tournaments into it, like not having good derbs, and Wendell called me and it's bad whenever Wendell of all people has to call and have a pep talk with me. It's like if he's trying to be the voice of reason, I really screwed up, right? And he told me, he's like, you need to leave them swim baits at home. I know how you are. You're gonna go out there and live and die with them, but you're dying. You've been dying all year. Leave them at home. Don't take. He's like, maybe stick them in your truck. I was like, yeah, that ain't the problem. Well, then I have a 4th bad tournament, and Chris comes to me. Chris Johnson comes to me. He's like, you may. He said something to me about he thinks I need to leave the big swim baits at home. I'm like, all right, if they're noticing it, then it's probably something, right? So Wendell and Chris they both had conversations with me because, like, Chris wants to see me do good too. And so I'll tell you what I did. I took the glide baits and the big swim baits out of my boat. Like, literally, I didn't have a glide bait in the boat the rest of the year. And yeah, like we sucked the first 4, but then we cashed checks in the last 4, made a top 10 at Champlain. So
big baits are the problem.
Yeah, my problem was the big baits. Like there's a time and place, but I was trying to press the issue,
But it's hard because, dude, you've also had giant days where, it's a weird addiction, the big bait, because
it is.
It has been like, if you said, hey, I've tried it and it's never good to me, but that is not the case. You've had days when it has been.
Santee Cooper last year, cracking them on big swim bait. But I think it's like, I gotta say, it's kind of what you see with the guys that like the big swim baits, and and like look at Carl. Carl should have won Chickamauga that one time, but Carl catches big bags and then it'll peter off the next day. Zaldane cracked a great big bag at Champlain, petered it off the next day. Like it's addicting. They catch great big bags, but the consistency for them, just ain't there. I hate to say that.
So how do you plan on dealing with it this year? Just leaving them in the truck, or have you figured out a way to know?
So I know certain situations. There's a couple I gotta have in the boat, but I'm like at Lake Fork, I'll have them in the boat. Okay.
Yeah.
But the rest of the year, I'm gonna go practice, and judging by what I catch and where I catch it, if I think I can, they'll be in the truck this year. They'll be in the truck waiting on me to pull them out. That's how that's gonna work. Dude, that's how I qualified for the Elite Series. First year I fished the Opens, I went out there swim baiting, and like I come in 35th in the points. Not real bad, but I had some bombs from doing that. So Wendell of all people, like the last person who ever needs to have any reason, I left the swim baits, left them alone, and then I qualified for the Elite Series. Like, just got to lay down the big baits a little bit.
Step away.
It's like crack. It's like crack. Once you go out there and do it,
I don't know if it's like crack.
Walk away.
I don't know if it's like crack. I think that's a little.
All right.
I've never seen people performing favors for swim baits.
What kind of swim bait you got, Dave? Oreos? Is it like Oreos? Because let me tell you what I'd do for an Oreo and some milk right now.
Oh, gosh.
You want to watch me lick the icing off my Oreo?
No, I've seen you do that too many times. I mean, you're welcome to eat Oreos while we do this. I gotta
ask you, are you the type to dip your Oreo in the milk and like hold it and let it get a little soggy?
Absorb?
Or do you set it in there and let it sink? How do you eat your Oreos, Dave?
I gotta be honest, it's been a long time since I've dunked an Oreo in milk, but I think I was a bit of a soaker. I mean, I think if I gotta go back, I'm a soaker. I mean, why would you, like, if you like a little bit, you're gonna love a lot. Let it absorb.
Might as well just take a bite of Oreo and take a little sip of milk. I want that thing soggy.
Yeah. You don't even have to chew. Just let it just disintegrate in your mouth.
That's the best. Oh my God, I'm going to give me some daggone Oreos.
Well, I'm excited for 2025. I think you're gonna have a good year. Because
I really do too.
Have you done any? So when in the off season, what do you do to prepare for? Like, what have you done since the Elite Series ended?
Dude, I haven't stopped since the Elite Series ended. I talked to Fighter. He's hanging out at the house, been on a hunting trip or two. Like, I see all these guys sitting in the deer stand, and I went and did the Walmart thing in Arkansas. The next week I come home and had to go. I went to Texas and hunted out there with the guys at Boss Shot Shells at Final Descent shooting doves. And then I come back and my wife's lease come up on her house in North Carolina, so we had to move a whole house out. And dude, like I ain't been stopped. Like I went up to Maine on my little vacation there and got me a tournament on Kentucky Lake this weekend. So I'm going to go start practicing for it tomorrow. And I think I might peel the wrap off my boat that way. I ain't got to deal with nobody watching,
Incognito.
And, so I may take a couple hours to peel the boat off. But, yeah, dude, like, I ain't been able to stop. I'm ready for a break. I'm supposed to go to Outer Banks next week with Coop.
Oh, are you going there?
Yeah, I'm supposed to go to Outer Banks with Coop next week.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we're going to go out there. And, dude, the only thing got cold as crap. Like, it's cold. It's like, I went to Maine, it got cold. I come back home, it's like 60, and it's like supposed to be a high 55 in North Carolina. And we're supposed to go out on the beach, like with
Shark
surf
fishing, right?
rods, shark fishing all night.
I mean,
It's going to be 40 degrees.
Coop will cuddle with you.
God almighty, I know he will. He better.
Hey, you were with the guys from Boss Shells. Isn't that the dudes who you got your? Weren't you supposed to get some tattoo deal with? Like, did you get the tramp stamp done?
No, the tramp stamp's going to. So it was between the guys at Boss Shot Shells and the guys at the Big Honker in Texas. And as a matter of fact, November 7th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, we're going to be, me and the Boss guys are going to be down at the Big Honker in Texas doing a little hunting.
Is the Big Honker, is that podcast you go on?
Yeah. That's podcast
See, I
go
thought
on every once
thought
in a while.
is Boss just a sponsor of theirs?
Yeah, Boss is a sponsor of theirs, and they own a huge hunting lodge, dove hunting, duck hunting, goose hunting, crane hunting, all down there in Texas. So yeah, we'll go down there with those guys.
So is that when the tattoo's going to happen?
Yeah, Dollar General, right above my butt crack. But it might kind of touch my butt crack because I got a longer butt crack. It kind of goes up my back a little bit. People think I need to pull my pants up, but really my butt crack just comes up above my pants. The guys at Bass at Champlain, the dude, my camera guy, schools crap. He's like, they're telling you to pull your pants up. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, it ain't the pants, it's the butt crack.
You've always had a long butt crack.
Always.
Is it generational? Like, does your daddy have a long butt crack?
No, I don't think so. I just think, like, I've gained about 20, 30 pounds again, and the fatter I get, the longer it gets. Like, I think the way I gain weight is it just, my butt cheeks start folding over, and I got these love handles, and it makes that lower back crease more. It just, dude, I bet you it's 4 or 5 inches longer now. Like, talk about butt crack growing. That's how I know if I'm gaining weights. My butt crack comes up above my whitey toddies.
You've gained 4 or 5 inches on your butt crack, is what you're saying.
Yeah, 2 inches on my waist and 4 inches on my butt crack.
Wow.
It's 2-to-1 ratio on my waist on inches.
So is there any way we can? I mean, they're a hunting podcast, so we're no competition to each other. Is there any way we can get involved in this and maybe have a little bit of this tattooing? I mean, we'll promote each other's podcast.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just want a few minutes of you getting this done. A little quick conversation when it goes down. Can we make that happen?
Yeah, we can probably make that happen.
All right. Maybe I'll chip in a little to the tattoo or something.
You ain't got to do that. We'll make it happen.
Oh, gosh. Wait till you explain that one day when you're in a senior's home and they're like, why do you have Dollar General on your ass?
Oh, because it's cheap, baby.
I mean, the nice thing about a tramp stamp with you is there's a lot of pros that they could have that. You'd never see it. You'd never. But that part of you gets seen.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I bend over, pick up a rod, grab a fish, do anything. FS1 front and center, baby. Like, it's actually probably the more premier spot on my body. Like, it's the highest real estate. I never even thought about that till you said that. The most worth on my body is where a tramp stamp goes. Daggone.
You almost said your ass cracked, didn't you? I like talking to you when you're trying not to swear. It's weird. You say words like ding dong. I mean, it doesn't sound right coming out of your mouth.
I like that. I like calling people ding dongs. I don't ever get a reply, but
they don't respond?
No, I don't ever get it's like maybe they realize that they're being retarded.
Well, I think it's your delivery. I mean, sometimes people will respond to social media and they'll be like, well, actually, I believe it's this, but you don't. Like, you immediately just shut up. You're wrong, ding dong.
I throat chop them.
Swing.
I like to do it in a special manner too. Man, it's all about the delivery.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your brand, bro. I mean, if you didn't, I mean, you wouldn't be Matt. What do you think of the rules? Any of the rule changes? You good with those?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of talked with them before, and I told them, I said, listen, y'all are the bosses, make the rules, enforce the rules, and call it good. Like, whatever. If somebody complains, let them complain. Like, this is your organization, make the rules. And, yeah, I'm cool. Like, the 55 inches don't really change a whole lot. Like, you can have plenty of graphs on there. I do think if they were looking at it in a safety aspect, like I hate to compare leagues, but MLF really did it as far as the
Having a height,
safety and
an actual
having a
height.
height action. Yeah,
How
like
are we doing it?
we're
Do you
just
know?
done. Well, I can have it 20 inches high as far as I can tell. Like, I don't know. I didn't see no height restriction or anything. I just seen the total number of inches. I could be wrong on that, so don't nobody blast me too bad if I'm wrong. But
No.
from what I read, it's just the total inches. And the one transducer versus the ones on the back. And like I don't foresee it changing nothing. But yeah, I'm good with the rules.
No, I take it as the only thing that really changed. I mean, if you can't do it in 55 inches, then you got some issues because that's impressive, even if it's a TV.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think what we did was we stopped the science projects. I say we. I mean, I wasn't involved in the decision, obviously, but I think the tournament department. That's the one thing that came from that. There's no more science. Like it was getting to the point that. And I knew it would, but by this year, I mean, if there was no limitations, you would have had. I mean, you already had graphs on every corner of the boat.
Yeah.
You would have had stuff. I mean, it was so. At least it curtails the science project. People know this is what I got to do. This is the limit, and we take it from there.
I'm with you.
I think that had got to the point that there was no making anyone happy, anyways. You know what I mean? Like I think that. It's.
I'm with you.
Do you think having all those river events will help it be less forward-facing sonar dominated?
Only the Sabine.
That's the one.
That's the only one that'll change. I don't think it'll matter that. I think the other ones that'll still be live scoped.
Huh. Well, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. What I'm hearing good things about is that third one, the one that I can't pronounce.
The one in North Carolina?
Yeah.
That's what I keep hearing good stuff about too. And I'm gonna make me a little trip up there and see what she's all about. And I heard it should be like a banger.
Yeah. Untapped, incredible giant fish, a lot of water. I've heard all good things. So I'm excited about that.
I am too.
So what else have you been? What? Go ahead.
Oh, nothing.
Just talk.
I'm looking forward to Okeechobee and all that stuff too. Like,
yeah, I'm looking forward to actually. I mean, I liked starting in Texas, but I feel like we set ourselves up weird. Like the 2 Texas events were awesome.
Yeah.
But then we went to Florida. By the time everybody had left Florida, we got to Alabama when nobody wants to be in Alabama. I mean, there was just it was a weird schedule last year.
Yeah, I heard we was actually supposed to go to Kentucky Lake last year, but it was changed last minute. It would make sense for us going to Alabama whenever nobody else is. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it come back to the home pond.
I don't know this for a fact. Again, none of this, just because I work for Bass, don't think I know. And I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this to the listeners because they're going to think, oh, yeah, he knew. I believe the schedule was changed at the end because so many friggin' scoundrel pros were out there getting it, trying to get an advantage. So Bass had to, at the last minute, change some events. But so I don't know that we were going to go to Kentucky, but I don't doubt it. I had heard that too. But do you think
the dates make sense?
Yeah.
June. That's
Yeah.
whenever they'd come here.
Well, how excited would you have been about that?
I'd have licked my chops. That'd have been my first Elite Series win.
Wow.
Ain't nobody coming walking on my turf hardly. There's a few that could, but I own this place. I go out there and have to remind them every once in a while.
Well, I like that. Well, hopefully we'll go there eventually. I mean, how do we get people to stop trying to find the schedule? Like, it's amazing how things have changed in the way that, like, the process hasn't changed, but now you got people who are out there snooping down trying to find it. And I'm not even talking about anglers. I'm talking about people chasing clicks out there trying to get schedules. And I mean, it's just it's a weird time in history.
Yeah, dude. There's definitely more drama queens in bass fishing nowadays. Like, it's unreal, dude. Like, why hunt down the schedule? Why not just let it be how it has for 50 years, you know? Let the schedule come out. Like, what? Oh, you trying to have a dick measuring contest because you get the schedule first? Oh, wow. Like, nobody gives a shit.
You know what they did by doing that? They screwed you out of your win in Kentucky.
That's what I'm saying. Jack me up.
Don't jack him up. He needs. I'd like to. I want to be there. I mean, I'm gonna be there when you win an Elite. It will be fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, Dave, it's gonna. I just hope there's not one the following week, or I'll miss 2 days of practice.
I wish we stopped doing back-to-back. And I know anglers like it, but I've said for a long time.
I don't.
You don't like back-to-backs?
Oh no, I don't like back-to-backs. Hate it. Hate back-to-backs.
Why do you hate them?
I just don't, man. I don't like the back-to-backs, and I like off days.
Yeah.
Like, the boys hate me for that. I don't know. I've never had like the back-to-backs. Like, it's a long, gruesome 2 weeks. I don't like the whole, if a day gets canceled, and that seems to be happening a lot. Not that it's anybody's fault, but, you know, like, it happens, and then you got to deal with all that stuff. Like, yeah.
I agree with you on the back. I mean, my take on the back-to-backs is it cuts down some cost for anglers, obviously, because they're on the road. But to me, it also rips people off. Like, if you win the wrong back-to-back, I mean,
you don't get no coverage.
Almost always. I mean, and dude, you're one of those dudes that if you won one of the back-to-backs and somebody else wins it, yours is going to get more attention, or depending on how that person won or what happened at that event, it just simply, to me, in a perfect world, I would love it if we had, so we do 9 events a year. So for 9 months, we have an event every, whatever the week is, the first week of the month, the third week of the month. So, you know, and fans know, hey, first week of the month, that's Elite Week. Where are they this month? And then you spend, so after you win, you've got 2 weeks where everybody's talking about that winner. And not just the winner, but second place, third place. Because, you finish 4th in Elite on a back-to-back. Nobody remembers it by the time you get to the, you know what I mean? Like, so.
I want them to call me daddy for a week at least.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then the second 2 weeks before. So the first 2 weeks after it, that's all about the winner. And we're promoting the patterns and the different things on .com and all the websites and all the podcasts are doing that. And then you got 2 weeks to build up towards, guess where we're going next. We're going to be, it's all the pre-hype going to that. But I just think that to me is an exciting way to do, you know what I mean? I just think it's all over the place. And now there's so many different tournaments. It gets crazy.
So many tournaments. Yeah. I'm with you, dude. Like, I actually never even thought about that before you just said it. Like, one at the beginning of the month. And even if you had to, like, once or twice a year have 2 in a month, like, it ain't even got to be back to back. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool, but a lot of my ideas people don't think are cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to make. Here's a weird one. I'd like to make tournaments shorter. Like, I'd like 4 hours. To me, because hear me out on this, and I get it. normal
Yeah.
tournament thinking, you're like, that's ridiculous. I can't run out to Lake Ontario or anything.
Listen, I'm open to anything.
But to me, dude, if I say to you, I can do the Rubik's Cube, and you sit on your couch and watch me do the Rubik's Cube, it's boring. But if I tell you I can do it in 3 minutes, you're like, wow, this is incredible watching this. And I think that a shorter tournament day just makes it more exciting. I mean,
I can see that logic behind it.
If you compare it to racing, like foot races, is a marathon more exciting? Or is the 100-meter more exciting? The 100-meter, because it's just like this. And the most exciting part of the marathon isn't the middle, it's the end, right? So and I just think shorter, but that's a whole changing of the sport, which I don't know that will ever happen. But I just think shorter tournaments would be more exciting.
Against it. I'm not against that. I'll tell you what I don't like is getting up at the ass crack of dawn. Like, dude, let me tell you about the tournaments in Maine. 8 to 4.
Wonderful.
Dude, you can get up, you can go to breakfast if you want to, or you don't have to. Chris Johnson can sleep till 7:45. Like, 8 to 4. Like, I don't know why we got to get up and be dog tired every morning and be out there and take off whenever it's daylight.
I agree with that. I mean, even if I've said for those early events, those Florida events, quite often, we've been lucky the last few years. I mean, we've canceled full days, but there's been years where we've had 3-hour fog delays and stuff, especially in those, those Florida events to start the season. Let's have an evening weigh-in. Let's start, start at 10 o'clock and weigh in at 6 or later. You know what I mean? Like
the NPFL did like a 10 to 6 one day. I was like, never even heard of that, but I ain't going to say I'm against it,
Well, I mean, the E50s, when the elites first started, they were all nighttime weigh-ins. Like, to me, it's just...
Were they?
Yeah. Hell yeah. The E50s were all, and they'd have fireworks afterwards when the person won. I think I'm all for an evening weigh-in. Like, to me, St. John's River, think of how awesome that weigh-in would be on a Friday freaking night.
Oh, yeah. For sure. It'd be awesome. Talking about evening, you know what I'd like to see the Elite Series do?
What?
And they can't nobody tell me, oh, you can't do it because you can't film it. Do a night tournament in the summer, an Elite Series night tournament. They have cameras that can record at night, and it looks like daylight with no lights. You don't have to turn a light on. It looks like daylight. Have a night tournament. People been bass fishing at night for forever. Get the black lights out, 20-pound blue mono.
God knows what those black lights would show up on the deck of your boat.
Well, that's why we don't have. That's why we have the cameras that looks like it's daylight, not what.
Listen, see, this is the problem with you. You got to take baby steps. We can't get to a nighttime event before we get to an evening event. We have to, like, little baby steps. I mean, if you tell anglers you're going to be fishing in the dark, that's probably not going to be received well.
Well, there's half of the Elite Series anglers that's probably still scared of the dark because half of them still wearing diapers.
That's not nice. That's not nice. I mean, none of them are wearing diapers.
Well, you're going to say they've been out of diapers for very long, Dave? Come on, Dave.
Not as long as you, but...
I needed one last year at the St. Lawrence River. I ain't got no shame.
Tell me about the St. Lawrence River. Oh, you did tell me this, didn't you?
Yeah. I got chafed like something bad.
Oh, that's right.
Like I couldn't walk.
You did. Was that St. Lawrence River?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when you had the powder.
Yeah, they had the powder.
When you had to beat the powder. Bad choice of words. Listen,
it was the worst
somebody is, I don't know how you explain it other than beating the powder off, but when you said on stage, and then she had to beat it off, and I was like, what is he saying?
I was talking about the bed, Dave.
I know, but nobody on earth thought you were talking about the bed. Okay, I got a serious topic to talk to you about.
Okay.
I'm disgruntled. I mean, I love you. One of my favorite guys.
Yeah.
But I'm a little disgruntled because, I mean, we did a big podcast. We made a big hoopla.
Yeah.
You guys made a debut of the Derby Boys. People got, you know what? And I said to you guys, I said, this is good. I said, there's going to be some complaints, but this is good. Like, you should put it out there, not worry about the complaints. Well, dude, I was freaking wrong. Nobody complained. I mean, they loved it. Until you stop freaking putting them out. Now they're all freaking complaining. Where the hell are the Derby Boys? What has happened?
All right, so I'll give it to you straight up.
Please do.
So we have one episode. All right, one more episode. We had it for about a month, and maybe a month and a half. And there's a few issues, and I'll tell you this: whenever Chris and Corey wanted me to put out the episode, and me and Seth kind of thought we shouldn't, and I told them, I said, "Listen, you can't just put out an episode whenever you want. I need all the episodes done. I need to know the next episode was supposed to come out 2 weeks after the first one. I didn't have it. I can't do nothing about that. All right. And then I didn't have it for a while after that. And like, I got it. They want to post it. I said, dude, like, get me the episodes. Give me the episodes and then let me do what I do. Okay? Like, any show on earth, you just Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, any show of anything, like, you just don't throw an episode out whenever. You got to put it out in a timely manner. People got to know when it's coming on, so they're vested. And they were vested.
They were.
The fans were vested. I'm vested. I love it. But, dude, if I'd have put the episode out, we'd have been in the same situation again. I ain't got the episodes. That's all I can say. I ain't got the episodes to put out. I want it to be put out. Chris, there's a little powwow, kind of. And I think they thought I was a little bit of the issue, but no, Chris and them's realized now, and we just need the episodes, and we ain't got them.
All right. I'm reading between the lines.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I mean, I've talked to Chris and Corey about it. They never blamed it on you.
No, I'm not saying they blamed it on me, but I was kind of the one ramrodding this thing, taking care of all the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I just need stuff. I need the episodes to work with.
I feel though you guys have this rare magic where, and it'll piss me off. A guy who has never missed. Like, dude, I've not done. Like, I've abandoned family shit to make sure I have a podcast every Wednesday. I never ever miss it. Like, literally 1 week a year we don't put it up, and it's Christmas. And there's times where I was like, I just want to go fishing, but I got to do a podcast. Yeah. It'll piss me off, but I feel like you guys have that weird kind of following that you'll put it up a month from now, and people will be like, "Oh, it was worth the wait." Finally, beautiful.
Like it is worth the wait. I promise, it is worth the wait. And I'm as mad about it not being there as everybody else. Like, dude, I think it is awesome. It is awesome.
It's very cool. It's very cool. So the plan, okay, let's not worry about those episodes. So we're trying to get those episodes out. Is the plan to have a Derby Boys? Is it going to continue regardless of those episodes? Like in 2025, will you guys be shooting Derby Boys?
Yeah. We're going to be shooting it. I ain't got a camera guy lined up for it. I did just go buy my wife a daggum legit camera, lenses. Spent about $4 or $5 grand on the stuff to, like, I was like, you know what? Worst case scenario, you just film it. Like, whatever, it's getting done. Like, you know?
Well, get it done. We need it done. Yeah. The world needs it.
We need the Derby Boys.
I mean, dude, I'm honest. I was so shocked that, like, I never, and it was out, what, like 2 weeks before iCast. I thought, at iCast, I'm going to hear a bunch of people saying, well, those guys, dude, I got more complaints about the podcast that we did talking about the Derby Boys than I did about the actual Derby Boys.
I know.
I know. It needs to happen. All right. All right, so
It's
your poor
going
wife,
to.
your poor wife
I
is going to be the camera
apologize to-
person, which will
I
make
apologize to everybody and you, Dave, because I know, I'll be honest with you, like, I know you were a fan of it.
Yeah. I'm still a fan. Still
Yeah.
a fan.
It's kind of been out of my control, you know. Like, dude, if show me a couple episodes, I'll put them out tonight. You know, I just don't want to put one out there and everybody watch it and just be like, oh, well, in 13 months, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You're going to create another. I mean, at least now it's died down. If you bring it out, it's going to
Yeah.
be.
That's my whole thing. It's died down now. Bring it back out, then I got another 2 months of everybody asking where it's at. You know?
I feel like maybe you're just holding out to do it pay-per-view.
You know what? I might now.
You can,
Or we may do where you do it like a special subscriber or something
Yeah.
where you can
members.
We need a members only.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Dude, I think you guys could do fundraisers. You know how like the really crappy radio stations and TV stations be like, do you enjoy this broadcasting? You don't want to stop getting it. Donate $12 a month and we'll give you a coffee mug or whatever else. I think you guys
probably would do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Sometimes
We're going to have to bring you on as a Derby Boys consultant.
I just want to be the guy that comes in that. I just want to be the character that I normally have. I just show up and yell at people. What are you doing? It was good. So that episode that we saw, that 15-minute, that was just a teaser. That wasn't an actual episode 1, right?
Yeah, that was just like the pilot. Like, establish who everybody's at. Because, like, whenever we started doing this, I told them, I love everybody who fishes, but I told them, I was like, I want people who don't fish to want to watch this. That's what I want. Okay? Because if you can draw in the people who don't fish, then, well, the people who fish are going to really eat it up.
I think it could have. I think it did. I mean, if you look at how many followers you guys, like I said that to, I'm sure I've said to you, but I mean, you're like, last I checked, you had 5,000 or 6,000 YouTube subscribers on the Derby Boys, which, dude, that is hard to get. Like, your first 5,000 or 6,000 is very hard to get, and
we got it right out the gate. It was we had momentum, and that's what I ain't gonna lie to you, pal. Like, whenever I showed out because I was so passionate and I wanted it to be delivered properly.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's still going to happen. You have 6,300 subscribers. And you've put up 4 videos. And only one of them is long form. The other 3 are shorts.
Little 30-second clips. Like, dude, like, it's money.
The world wants it. We need to find a way to make it happen.
Yep.
So
it's going to happen. It's just going to be a little bit of time.
All right. I mean, dude, you need to do it before. You need to make it happen before the tattoo. I mean, the tattoo needs to be part of.
I agree.
You guys can get Derby Boy tattoos.
I'll get one. 1,000%. I'll get one. I'll get one anywhere you want it to be got, Dave.
I know you mean that.
Like on my ankle.
Sure, yeah.
We can get matching Derby Boy tattoos on our ankle.
All right. I mean, if it comes back, I'm not agreeing to have a tattoo.
Yes,
I'm an adult, damn it. I'm an adult, damn it. Stop it. I'm an adult.
Yeah, but you can be not an adult for 30 minutes while they do the tattoo.
I'm always not an adult when we hang out.
I know that's true.
But we do have some good times. Do you think Corey and Chris will be? I mean, they won three. I mean, they won a lot this year, dude. They won 3 trophies. Will they be unbearable?
Corey's head's going to be this big this year. This big. And if he does good at the first one at the St. John's,
Oh, God, he starts off where he's defending his
that's what I'm
titles.
saying.
God,
They always do good there.
They
You
do.
ain't yeah. Chris, I think can be a little more humble.
I think just publicly he's a little more humble, but I think privately he's...
Privately, I know. All right, let's not say he's humble. He acts dumb.
Dude, he has got the world snowed.
Yeah, he acts dumb. I mean, I'm not saying he's smart, but whenever it comes to catching fish, he acts dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, Chris. When did you not catch him?
He never has a good pre-fish ever.
Ever. Never got a bite in practice. Never saw none. 29 pounds. Yeah, okay.
I got lucky. You're not going to believe it. It was wild. Well, this has been a good chat. It always is.
Yeah.
But what else we got to chat about? Anything else or?
Oh, nothing in particular I can think about.
Well, it's been a good chat. I mean, we saved lives. We talked about the importance of being prepared.
Saved lives. But I will say about that there was some other guys helping bail the boats out and stuff, you know.
No.
I don't want to sound like I'm Superman.
No,
I
didn't mean
probably
that.
am like Superman.
Kinda. You are kind of a
sexier.
Southern Superman.
Yeah, look at this.
Whoa.
It's no S. It's just some real light chest hair, but never mind.
That's going to mean nothing to the people listening to the audio version. I'll describe it. He threw open his shirt and exposed his manly chest hairs.
Which wasn't real. After I saw it on the video, I was like, damn, I shouldn't have done that.
That didn't show up real good. So you're going to take a break. You're going to be good here. You're going to take a break here shortly, right? You're going to chill out, get ready for the festive season. What do you do around the holidays?
Usually get hammered.
What's your drink of choice? Do you drink eggnog? Is that a thing for you guys?
Dude, I love eggnog. And last Thanksgiving...
Oh, it's horrible.
Are you serious?
100%.
If you want the non-alcoholic eggnog, get the Prairie Farms. It's the only kind to get. The Prairie Farms. It's money. And you can mix the liquor with it. I bought some last year, or my wife's cousin had it. He had some alcoholic eggnog. It was money. I can't remember the brand of it though. But I'll be honest with you. You want a money drink?
Okay.
Money drink. My wife's dad turned me on to this. Some peach crown and unsweet tea.
What?
Yeah, it's money. God dang. What? Or no sugar, sweet tea or something, you know. God, it's good. Or if you like something really sweet, use sweet tea.
You're a big chick drinker, aren't you? You like chick drinks. Like you like. I mean,
I like it to taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of a White Claw or something like that, are you?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The White Claw's been giving me some acid reflux, so I kind of, whenever I was up in Maine, you know what a Fresca is?
Fresca, yeah.
They make Fresca seltzers that taste just like a Fresca. Dude.
It's the real deal?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a good chat. I'm glad you're still alive. And dude, I mean, you hardly swore after if I remove the first two sentences in this podcast, you hardly swore.
Yeah, and I didn't even try, Dave. See, that's progress. See, guys, it's progress. I didn't even try.
I just think I'm a good influence on you. When you hang out with me, you start speaking more professionalism.
Yeah. We need to go to the casino, Dave.
Not in Oklahoma. And if you do not swear.
They do not like it.
I find it somewhat concerning that, I mean, we've known each other for quite a while now. I think equally we've impressed each other at times in life where I'm like, Matt's smart. And I think maybe you've said that about me a time or two.
Yeah.
But I find it almost insulting that the most I've ever gained like your real love, like the next day, the respect. You walked up to me the next day and you're like, Mercer, I didn't know I respect you so much more. All I had to do is get thrown out of casino right in front of you.
Dude, whenever it happened, I was like, love that guy. So much respect for him.
And off I went to the Waffle House.
Yep.
A lot of good nights end in the Waffle House.
Oh, God, the Waffle House is the best place.
Do you think you need a neck tattoo to work there? Like, is that a prerequisite, or does it just give you an advantage?
Dave, oh my God, I gotta show you something. Neck tattoo. Dude,
oh God,
look at. I went to TJ Maxx the other day with my wife.
Okay.
And I got this necklace. I don't buy necklaces. Oh my God, where is it? I might have to go ask her. I gotta show this to you, Dave. Like, oh my God. Listen, do you think a neck tack would look good on me?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen you this excited.
Where's my necklace? Where's the jewelry box? In my room? Dave, dude, this is the most pimpinest thing you have ever seen in your life.
Okay,
right.
Here it goes.
Well, I'm in the jewelry box. Where the hell is it? Am I in the wrong jewelry box?
How many jewelry boxes you got?
I don't know. Like, here's the jewelry box. I don't see it in here. God dang it. I'm getting tore up, Dave.
You built this up so much.
Dude, I know. Honey, come find this necklace for me. Where's it at? What jewelry box? I don't see it.
There's a white box on top of the dresser.
I looked. It's not in there. We almost packed it.
Is it on the coffee table in the...
If it's on this coffee table, I swear. Oh, my God. Here it is.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Here we go.
Okay. Listen, we were in TJ Maxx.
Okay.
We're in TJ Maxx. And we go up to the thing. And she never buys nothing. She always just looking at stuff. And I walk up and I see this necklace. And I was like, how much is that? And the lady's like, so let me see it. She's like, $45. I thought it was going to be $300. I was buying it. I didn't give a shit. $49.
Oh, my God.
Look at this thing. Look.
What is that? Cool? Is that a leopard?
Well, I think it's a cheetah. I was kind of wishing it was a lion. But look at this. Look. The necklet, the band part is the tail.
Oh, my God. It is bedazzled like.
Look at this. Freaking balling.
It's like an award.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Shit. Straight. Look at this, gangster.
Look at it. Wow. Are you going to wear that at events?
Oh, yeah, dude. I might wear it all the time.
I think you should.
Is that not the most ballingest necklace you ever seen? Like, I mean.
It's definitely something. I mean.
Was it worth the wait?
No, yeah. I feel like all it's missing is eyes that light up. Like if you had a couple of red LED lights in the eyes.
Yeah. So, I got a regular Born wedding ring, and I was looking at rings online, and Kay's has this ring. It's a lion's head. Like, it's not solid. Like, it's got... You a picture of it later, dude? Like, I told her, I said, I'm buying that for a wedding ring. She's like, not for a wedding ring. I said, listen, y'all get to pick out, like, she didn't pick hers out, but like, listen, I did a good job. But y'all get to pick out your jewelry and what it looks like to wear nice and everything. And you want shit to look good? What about that? What about this, Dave? Looks. What about looking good? Looks like this. This ain't looking good. This is balling. I'm going to have me a tiger ring there with 2 purple ruby eyes.
Gosh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Hey, serious question. Did she ever
Yeah.
get pissed at you for showing her snoring when we did the Derby Boys podcast, or does she know?
Oh yeah, she knows. She's like, Matthew, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you think I'd do that?
No wonder she doesn't want to help you find it in the jewelry box. She's like, I ain't helping.
Oh, I know.
Well, she's a saint, that woman.
If I see another one, Dave, if I go back to TJ Maxx and I see one, I will get it for you.
Would you? Would you? I would wear
swear.
it. I would wear it. I mean, I
So
think I need a little. That one looks a little tight on you. I might need a bigger neck, but I mean, a longer tail is what I'm saying.
Yeah, a longer tail. I mean, Fighter wears a necklace all the time. I sent him a picture of it. I said, I know you wear a necklace all the time. I said, I finally found me one to wear. And he didn't even reply to me.
Oh, he's probably all in duck mode. He gets weird when it's
I
duck
know.
season.
I know.
If you get me one of those, I will wear it every time you weigh in. Like
Okay.
before you weigh in, I'll have to be like, Lisa, hold the microphone.
Okay, Lisa.
I need to I need to lion a cheetah up or whatever it is.
Pimp necklace engaged.
Sounds like a plan.
All
right. I'm gonna let you go get back and get bedazzled. But Matt, you're the best, and I love talking to you.
All right. See you, Dave.
See you, dude. Matt Robertson never lets you down. A great conversation, a great show, and I hope you guys enjoyed it half as much as I enjoyed having these conversations. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Leave us a review in the streaming services. Leave us comments. All of these things help. It helps us stroke the algorithm, which allows this show to come to you each and every single week for free. Don't make me do a pledge drive. I'll be selling coffee cups or whatever if I have to, but I don't want to have to do that. I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and make it cool. And it's not just me saying it. It's also Bob Cobb. So enjoy Bean and take it away, Bob Cobb. Watch, he's going to say it.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe because Bob Cobb of the Bassmasters told you to. You hear?